right here on your TV. I'm Jessica Kading. The number of active COVID-19 cases in Halton has been slowly rising all week. Today, there are 7 additional cases to report, bringing the current total in Burlington to 9, Oakville 24, Milton 12, and Halton Hills still only has 1 case. Oakville MP Anita Anand joined with Oakville North Burlington MP Pam Damoff at HMC Connections to make an announcement and congratulate participants of a Generation Green project that completed this year.
Minister of Public Services and Procurement, Anita Anand, announced $40,000 of federal funding for HMC Connections to be used for environmental projects.
And so HMC partnered with the Halton Environmental Network, and with students, they developed projects relating to climate change and combating climate change and encouraging environmental sustainability. We believe that our youth are the leaders of today and tomorrow, and this project enabled youth to get involved in projects relating to environmental degradation. It's one of the most important things that we can do in trying to reach our targets of net zero by 2050.
Program participant Alexia Ponaru reduced the amount of meat she was eating to reduce her carbon dioxide.
Replacing meat with quinoa and rice and lentils and stuff like that. And I reduced a lot of carbon dioxide, and I realized that meat is a big part of the climate change. Eating meat for a month was 50,000 grams of carbon dioxide, and then not eating meat for a month, only for a week, it was 2,000 grams of carbon dioxide.
She's shared those numbers with friends and family, inspiring them to cut back as well. Shirley Wong created a group project.
I did a project with another member of the eco-council at our school, which is called the Pen Drive, where we collected used writing utensils and sent them to TerraCycle for recycling.
They collected over 4,000 pens, equal to 29,000 grams of carbon gas. HMC Connections Executive Director Kim Jenkinson says opportunities like these projects are wonderful for new Canadians.
As a new Canadian, you don't have any networks, and especially for youth. So to start with a project, a reason to talk to somebody, gives you really good common ground to start from. And then you can start developing friendships and networks after that point. So it's coming together under that common ground is a good thing. And for a really great cause in this case too. We were able to recruit the youth, and they got to learn a lot of new skills, and then they got to make their own projects and make their own unique contribution to climate change. So I think that was really empowering.
Reporting for Halton News, I'm Nikki Wesley.
Burlington MP Karina Gould was at Halton Industry Education Council this morning to make an announcement benefiting several local not-for-profits.
As we continue to navigate these uncertain times, we recognize that the COVID-19 pandemic has been especially tough on seniors. Seniors have been staying safe by staying home, and that has left many feeling more lonely, worried, and disconnected from their loved ones and their communities. So I'm with you today to share news about what the Government of Canada is doing through the New Horizons for Seniors program to help improve seniors' health and well-being through social inclusion. And so today, I'm proud to announce the 3 new projects in Burlington that will benefit from this new funding. Now, more than ever, seniors need to better understand and safely harness technology to connect them to the world around them. And to support this outcome, Hayek will receive $21,000 to expand its online safety and technological literacy for seniors program to include more seniors in Canada. Hayek will embark on outreach to raise awareness of the basics of cybersecurity and create webinars and content to be made available in senior facilities, especially where there is limited in-person interaction with the public. These online supports will assist seniors in staying connected to their families, help them feel confident accessing online supports and information, reduce social isolation during a time of social distancing, and positively impact their mental well-being. Further, Food for Life Canada will be receiving $20,000 to support their delivery of food bags each week, along with accessible meals for seniors who are in self-isolation at home, ensuring access to healthy food during this uncertain time. And lastly, the Centre for Skills Development is receiving $24,600 for their Better Together program, which is designed to improve the quality of life of seniors during and after the COVID-19 pandemic. Seniors will be able to attend workshops on how to navigate social media to stay connected and participate in at-home exercises and engage in conversations regarding mental health, nutrition, and exploring wellness.
We then caught up with Hayek's Director of Operations, Michelle Murray, to explain more about the program that this funding will support.
So we're really excited because Hayek is really an organization that is all about mentorship. And intergenerational mentorship is of real importance to our organization. We've been really fortunate to do a number of projects with the New Horizons for Seniors community, and we're really excited this time around to be kind of shifting the focus a little bit and focusing more on cybersecurity for seniors. We know that there are some fantastic programs both at the secondary school level and at the post-secondary level looking at cybersecurity, and this is a great way for that intergenerational mentorship to be able to go out and train seniors on cybersecurity so then they can go out and share that message with their peers as well.
Sessions will be held virtually rather than in person, but Michelle Murray reminds us that just because it's virtual doesn't mean that you don't receive real-time support and feedback.
Just because we're saying something is virtual doesn't mean it's not in real time either. And so, again, I think it's going to be a case-by-case basis depending on the safety of each location. But even we could do something over Zoom or over Facebook Live where it is more interactive and we could ask those questions in real time. I think most importantly, we want seniors to know that there's resources and supports out there, and also have these young people in the community give back to the senior population as well. And so I think, again, it's going to be a bit of a case-by-case basis, but we really just want to make sure everyone is comfortable with the content, and we're happy to make sure that that happens.
We heard from Wellington Halton Hills MP Michael Chong yesterday, discussing with us the various confident votes that we should expect once Parliament resumes in less than 2 weeks, and also the possibility of an early election that's circulating. So what are the ways in which Canada can go into an early election? Chong explains exactly how.
There's a number of ways in which we could have an election. First, the Prime Minister could seek the dissolution of Parliament and ask the Governor General to trigger an election. That's the Prime Minister's prerogative. That would be highly risky for him to do because the reason for calling an election would all be on him. The second way in which we could have an election is if the government loses a vote of confidence in the House of Commons. If that were to happen, the government would immediately fall and an election would be triggered. A government can lose a vote of confidence if it's a vote on a budgetary matter, if it's a vote on the speech from the throne, or if it's a vote on any matter that the Prime Minister has declared confidence. And the other way in which we could have an election is if an opposition party introduces a motion of non-confidence that passes in the House of Commons. So those are the various ways in which an election could be triggered. Now, that all said, as I said earlier, we do not want to have an election. However, we are prepared to fight one if the Prime Minister triggers one. If the Prime Minister calls an election, Conservatives are ready to take this government on its record, on its lack of ethics and accountability, on its approach on the WE scandal, and on its proposal to grow our economy out of the economic fallout of this pandemic. So we're prepared to go right now. We don't want to go right now, but it's incumbent on the government to work with us to ensure that we continue to focus on Canadians' lives and livelihoods.
Earlier this week, Premier Doug Ford met with Quebec's Premier François Legault for the first Ontario-Quebec Summit. We spoke with Ontario North Burlington MP Effie Triantafilopoulos about the results of those meetings.
The Premier was delighted to host the Premier of Quebec in Ontario this week. It was basically a 2-day summit. The purpose of the summit was actually to talk about shared priorities, specifically on the economic recovery of each of the provinces, along with being health preparedness for the future. As the two largest economies in the country, it was so important to talk about ways in which the both economies can move forward. In addition, these economies do an awful lot of two-way trade with the United States. So there were issues around when the border will reopen safely, and issues like that they had to take in consideration. They also have asked the federal government to look at some specific ways to provide further assistance, and that includes investing in things such as infrastructure, fast-tracking investments for highways and transit investment, along with investment in broadband, so that some of the regions in the provinces that are more remote will also have broadband. As well, asking for the federal government to make a greater contribution under the Canada Health Transfer Act, because as it stands now, I believe the federal government only provides about 21% of health transfers. So going forward, supporting the provinces in terms of their fight for COVID, including investing in long-term care. In order to do that, they're going to need the assistance of the federal government to do that. So that was one of the asks that they have. And there'll be there'll be a premier's meeting later this month. I think it's the 23rd of September, where they're going to be talking about all of these with their other colleagues as well.
September marks Suicide Prevention Month. Each year, 1 in 5 Canadians experience a mental health problem or illness, and in hopes of helping to improve awareness and reduce stigma, Burlington MPP Jane McKenna would like to introduce you to Laura, who shares her story and struggle.
Laura, it's wonderful to be able to chat with you today. I just wondered if you could maybe tell us how mental health affected you.
Well, in high school, I was a very happy teenager. I excelled in my academics, sports. I had a part-time job and really good friends. I was really nervous to go off to university, but I ended up going the fall after I graduated.
And what was that experience like?
My transition to university was very difficult. I felt anxious, lonely, and sad in my new environment, and very much unlike myself. Accessing mental health supports was challenging, and I was diagnosed with some mental illnesses at the time. After about 2 months, I withdrew from university and moved back home, and I was consumed by shame and guilt. I had no idea what was going on with me, and I didn't know much about mental health. I wish I had learned more about mental health in high school.
And how did you move forward?
Moving forward, I reached out and accessed care. It took a while, but I eventually, my mental health eventually improved, and I graduated with my honors Bachelor of Science in Biology and Psychology last year. And now that I've gone through my experience, I've become a very passionate mental health advocate, and I believe that mental health should be discussed in schools in order to reduce the stigma and to encourage youth to access early treatment.
I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. You're an inspiration to all of us, and just giving people the opportunity to hear what you have to say.
I want students out there to know that when they face darkness in their life, that there are incredibly caring, loving adults out there, your teachers and principals, as well as organizations like Kids Helpful, that is available to you to be there to listen 24/7, 365.
The Oakville Community Foundation has more money to distribute, and registration for these non-repayable loans is now open. I'll turn it over to their CEO, Wendy Ranella, for those details.
I'm very delighted to announce that on behalf of the Investment Readiness Program partnership between Brant, Halton, and Peel, the second round of funding is now open. And eligible social purpose organizations, which can be a charity, a not-profit, or a for-profit, can apply for up to $100,000 in what we call a non-repayable capital loan. So it's like a grant, but you don't get a grant unless you're a charity. So we're using the term non-repayable capital loan. And that application period was opened on September 8th, and it closes just before Thanksgiving. So great opportunity for people to get their applications in. We funded over 20 organizations in our first round for over $700,000. And this time the partnership has over $600,000 to distribute across those 3 regions.
Wendy Ranella also explained exactly what this funding can be used for.
This is money that is to be used for organizations that are pursuing a double bottom line. So a return on investment, as well as an environmental, social, or impact in the community that's going to have a positive benefit. So if you think of organizations that are currently set up, like in Oakville, Community Living Oakville, their clients actually run a business called Best Pack. And so that has people who traditionally wouldn't find employment. It actively employs them. Or if you're running a company that is going to help with climate change, or for instance, if you're going to seek out a new way of doing something that's going to have a positive impact in the community, then those are the types of things that we want to see. And we're looking forward to getting those applications in.
As this was round 2 of funding, I asked for some local examples from the first round of funding.
One of the initiatives locally, I'll give a couple of examples. The Oakville Film Festival was actually given some money to develop a feasibility study of attracting a new market so that they can expand their reach. And as well, Halton Environmental Network is looking at setting up a home energy retrofit business so that you can have somebody come in and look at your home and make recommendations on how you can save money. So a variety of things that are being developed locally here right now.
We do need to take a short break. We'll be right back with Dr. Ashok Bhattacharya from the Empathy Clinic. Stay with us. Welcome back to Halton News. We're taught from the time that we're very little to share, but we're not really warned of the dangers of oversharing. Dr. Ashok Bhattacharya explains why this might become a problem for you.
Hi, this is Dr. Ashok Bhattacharya coming from the Empathy Clinic, where we're dedicated to looking at understanding ourselves and others. So, remember when we had a bag of chips in high school or even grade school, and you go to the canteen, open your bag of chips, and suddenly there's a crowd of friends all around you. And you'd offer it around to everybody. And by the time the bag got back to you, maybe there's no chips in there. So why does that happen? We need to differentiate between caring and sharing. So when you share something with somebody, there should be some chips left in the bag when it gets back to you. If you're oversharing and there's nothing left, well, then there's nothing left for you. Some people tend to give away too much. And we all know other people who don't share their bag of chips with anybody. You don't want to be that person. So now that we're all going back to some form of new stage with the pandemic, we have to get back to sharing again. Sharing space, sharing each other. Make sure that there's some chips in your bag when it's your turn to share. Don't have a chip on your shoulder. Keep your chips in the bag. Take care. Stay safe.
Here's a look on 16 Mile Creek from a paddleboard as we look into our 5-day forecast. Now, while we're still over a week and a half away from the first day of fall, these do seem like fall temperatures have already arrived. Looking into our weekend, Saturday's your best day for outdoor activity with a mix of sun and cloud at 20 degrees, 24 degrees Sunday, but that does come with the chance of rain showers. Looking into next week, cool to start off the week, only reaching 18 degrees on both Monday and Tuesday, back up to 23 by Wednesday. All days come with a mix of sun and cloud expected. And now a look to how some of Halton's top companies performed on the markets today. We do need to take another short break, but we'll be right back with some upcoming events happening this weekend in Halton after this. Thanks for staying with us here on Halton News. There are several food drives taking place over the weekend. The executive director of the Burlington Food Bank will fill you in.
This is Robin Bailey, the Executive Director of the Burlington Food Bank, and again, it's Hunger Action Month, and this week we've been focusing on advocacy work, and one of the ways that we actually advocate is sometimes it's just with the individual who are using our services. So I actually have some people that I helped out a number of years ago, just helping them realize how much more they have going for them, and I actually got a message today from them letting me know that they're doing really well. They actually ended up having to move to London, but they started their own business, and they're doing really well, and just wanted to thank me for the time when they needed the food bank, that it was there for them and really helped them feel better about themselves and get on with life and get into a much better place than they were. And for those out there who want to help us out right now, go to our website, go to our most needed items, and there's a few places that you can actually donate this weekend. You can go to the Gift of Giving Back, has a food drive going on at Appleby Village, 5111 New Street. It's right at the corner of New Street and Appleby Line. And also there's a couple of food drives going on, one at the Sobeys on Brant Street, and also one at the Metro on Appleby Line. You can look at our most needed items, bring food to those ones, and you can also go to our website, burlingtonfoodbank.ca, and get a few more details on each of those drives. Thanks so much for your continued support.
The Oak Park Fall Fair is putting on a distanced outdoor showcase tomorrow. For $4, you can attend their fall barbecue at Oak Park Neighborhood Center on 2200 Sawgrass Drive. There's also an outdoor movie being played tomorrow night. That's Saturday at approximately 8:45. To get your tickets, please visit oakparkfallfair.ca. For those of you in Milton, there's the Chosen Few Music and Rib Fest happening this Saturday, rain or shine. Listen to live music at this drive-in event and enjoy chicken, ribs, pulled pork, beans, coleslaw, cornbread, and of course, live music. There are limited tickets. To secure yours, please visit chosenfew.ca. The Georgetown Fall Fair is back on. You can enjoy your half chicken dinner with potatoes, potato salad, coleslaw, and cookie. That is happening tonight, actually, at the Georgetown Fairgrounds. So if you're going, please note that this is a drive-through event and the classic cars will be on display as well. To enter, just drive through Charles Street, Old Armory, and exit through Parkview. For more information, you can visit Georgetown Fall Fair or just take a drive down. And for you classic vehicle lovers, this one is also for you. Over 75 classic cars will be parading down the main streets of Milton starting at 1 o'clock this Sunday afternoon, all in support of the Salvation Army and in an effort to entertain you. To help support them, please drop off non-perishables or cash in support of the Salvation Army. You can do that at 1 o'clock in the parking lot of Cineplex Theaters. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you for watching us here on Halton News. Melissa Candelaria will be in with our weekend edition and we'll be back Monday night live at 5:30. In the meantime, you can find more content on yourtv.tv and you can also follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at YourTVHalton. For Halton News, I'm Jessica Kading and I thank you for watching.